Hello, I'm Sarah. I'm an artist of Seint, and today I'm going to be doing my makeup just like I always do, but I'm going to be incorporating a couple of Seint's new releases. So this past week, Seint released a couple new highlight shades. They released a balm, a full-size balm, some perfume, some other things. I didn't get all of the products, but I did get Athens, and I'm going to try to incorporate this. It's too light for my skin tone, but I'm going to try to throw it in today just so I can use it. I also have, I don't have the full-size balm, but I have the mini balm. So we're going to be using it today, and I'm going to show you a couple different ways you can use it. But before I get started, I want to address something. Someone brought to my attention on one of my other videos that they said my videos are a joke because it looks like I start them with foundation and concealer already on. As you can see, I don't do that. So I don't use filters on YouTube. If I'm gonna do a full face, I am not gonna have a full face on when I start. So the only time you will see me with a full face on is if I'm gonna do an eyeshadow video, because I'll already have my face on and just no eyeshadow. So yes, those videos I have makeup on because I'm not talking about doing a full face. And if I'm talking about something else, like say perfume, I'm gonna have my makeup on. So now that we got that out of the way, we're gonna get started. I have already primed my cheeks with the Tatcha Silk Canvas. I just feel like that kind of fills in my pores a little bit better and my wrinkles. That's the only thing I've done so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try something. So I'm gonna try this Athens. I've heard it's awesome for red coverage, and I'm just gonna put a thin layer on my nose and just see if it works because I'm curious. So I mean, barely any on my brush. And I'm just gonna, oh, okay. Yeah, that works pretty well, actually. That's kind of surprising to me. That looks good. Okay, good. Yeah, Athens is going to be a really good color for a lot of people. It's in between. It's like a mix of Candlelit and Sandy, but it's just too light for me to wear as like an all-over color. It may work for me in winter, but I have a little bit of color right now, so it's not going to work for me. But that covered really well on my nose there, the redness. So good to know. I can use this first. I'm going to hit my chin just barely too, because I have a little bit of redness on my chin. And this is like a feather light layer, just to kind of cancel some of that discoloration. Okay, now I'm going to go into my balm. Okay, so this is awesome for if you have dry patches on your face. You can put a little bit of this on those spots before you put your foundation on, and it'll help with texture. I'm actually going to use it today under my eyes, just a little bit. We don't want to overdo it. But you can also use it after your makeup is on for if you want an illuminator that doesn't have shimmer in it. You can use it for that. It'll just give your skin like a nice, healthy glow. But I like to put it under my eyes because it helps blend when I'm doing my dimming and stuff under there. It'll help all that blend together. So did the balm. Now I'm going to go into just my normal shades. So right now I'm in between Mango and Sandy, and I wish they would come out with a color that's a mixture of those because that would be perfect for me. But they don't have that right now, so I'm just tapping in between both of them. A couple taps into Mango, a couple into Sandy. My bristles aren't stuck together, but you can definitely see the highlight shade on there, and I'm just going to tap it on. And in some spots I like to put a little more Sandy than Mango, and vice versa. So we're just stippling that. Okay, I'm curious. I'm gonna try mixing Athens and Sandy together for my lower jawline and just see if that works. Because I do like for my jawline to be a little bit lighter. Ooh, I almost dropped my whole entire palette. That would have been neat. Blend it down my neck so I kind of match. Yeah, I think that was fine. Okay, I'm just adding a little bit more. Now this is how I do my makeup. You don't have to put your makeup on like this. A lot of people don't put their highlight shade where they're going to put their contour. And that's fine. You don't have to do that. You can do this makeup however you want to do it. But I have noticed myself, I have a patch right here, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's like makeup doesn't, you can see it right now. Makeup doesn't stick to it. And this is new. I don't know what is going on with it. I don't know why it's like that, but it is what it is. So I like to put a little bit of highlight in that spot just to kind of help with the contour in that area. Okay. All right, and as you can see, I have some scarring right here, but I'm going to get to that a little bit later. I'm not putting any highlight up here, really. I do my temples, whatever's left on my brush, I'll just bring it over, but I'm not really putting anything on up there because I'm going to be doing contour and bronzer and stuff. So, all right. That's good for just the base of my face. So then I'm going to take my perfector sponge, and it's damp, and I wring it out like really, really hard, and then I wring it out in a towel. So it's cold, but it's not wet. And I'm just going to tap that over everything that I've done so that I don't have too much product in any one spot. And that also helps just push it into your skin. There we go. Okay. I have a tickle in my nose. Okay. Now I'm going to do, this is new. So I'm going to do my under eyes. I'm going to wait. We'll do that a little bit later. Let me do contour. I'll just go right for the contour. Let's see, what color do I want? I'm going to do, I made my own, mixed a whole bunch of stuff together, but I'm going to do that with olive, and I'm just going to tap that right on my cheekbone. And I'm not really coming past the corner of my eye, staying back there. Behind it, same thing over here. And I really don't like to come past this little spot that I have, because like I said, the contour, it doesn't stick to it. Nothing sticks to it, and I don't know how to get rid of it. I exfoliate regularly. I don't know what's going on in that spot. So I'm going to bring it up my temple a little bit. Make sure it's even. The side is like, it always looks better. I don't know why. It's frustrating, but it is what it is. Okay, then I'm going to go in olive again, and I'm just going to put that right on my forehead, and I'm going to push it up into my hairline. Everything pulls so warm on me, like even our contours, and it's frustrating because I don't like to look super warm, but it is what it is. Let's try a little bit of indigo. It's warm too, but I'm just going to try to add a little bit to that forehead area. Okay, I'm going to blend this out just a smidge more. And I'm just stippling and flicking. Okay. Now let's go into bronzer. For me, myself, I like using Muse as a bronzer, and Muse is one of our highlight shades. It's one of the darkest ones we have, but it's right here, and it's a smidge cooler than Bella. Just a smidge. But I just get a little bit on my brush, like hardly, you can hardly even see it. And I'm going to do that on my temple area. Then I'm going to bring it across my forehead. Just give me a little bit of warmth there. I'm going to put a little bit on my cheeks, right in that contour area and a little bit above. Blend it in. And it just warms me up a little bit. You can take some and you can put it down your neck if you want. If you want to get warmed up in this area, we can do that. Actually, no, we can't because my brush is drying. I'm not prepared for that. Here we go. Here's one that's not, that I didn't just wash. You can just put a tiny little bit, and then that kind of blends you together. Okay. Now I'm going to go into, let me see if this is the right shade. It's not. I'm going to go into Candlelit right here. It's not a lot lighter than my skin, but I'm going to put a little bit of that right in between my eyes, in this area. And then I'm going to put a little bit of Sunlit on there too, just to give it a little brightness. And I am going to leave it sit for a little bit while I'm doing the rest of my face. Okay, now I'm going to do my eyes, my under eyes. And I'm going to take this Demi brush. I think it's the, I'm so bad about the names of Demi brushes. Bright brush. It's not quite as small as the end of the spot brush. And this is the one that I like to use because it's just, I just like it better. So I'm going to go into Demi shade NO-1. That it looks orange, but it's not. And I'm just going to put that on the darkest points of my under eyes, and I'm just barely using any. And it doesn't even look like it's doing anything, but trust me, it is. And anytime that I touch my under eyes with a brush, they get redder than they originally were. So, and then I'm going to go into, I think this one's OR1. Okay, OR1 is this pinkish shade here. And I'm going to put that in my corners. And I'm going to bring it down over what I just did with that NO-1. Same thing on the other side. Now with Demi, my shade may not be your shade. So just because I'm using this color right here doesn't mean it's going to work for you. YO1 works really well for a lot of people, and it works for me too. I'm just playing around with this one recently, and I like it. So I've got that there. I'm not blending it in quite yet. I'm going to take a tiny bit of this Athens with the fluffy end, and I'm just going to pop that right in this area, right on that orbital bone. Okay, then we're going to blend. We're just going to blend all that together, and then we'll assess the situation, see if we need any more. Okay, this side for me is my struggle side. I always have this spot right here that is very dark. So I'm going to do a little bit of YO1. It's that orange. I'm going to do that right in that little spot. And see how much that helped. You don't need a lot of Demi at all. Demi is highly, it's like 100% pigmentation. So you don't need a lot of it for it to cover. I'm just going to tap that out. Okay. And I have this freckling here. I have some freckling over here. I can cover that. Let's use Y01. Actually, that's not a good color. Let's try this one. I don't need my imperfections covered completely. It doesn't really bother me if they show. So, okay. Now we're going to go into Hollywood Lip and Cheek. This one right here. It's one of my favorite shades that we have. We're just going to pop that on top of that bronzer and the contour. Can come up the temples. And I guess I should mention that this is not a full coverage look. You can do full coverage with this makeup. I just don't typically do that. See that hole? I really need to figure out what's going on there. But anywho, I'm going to take the small end of the spot brush and I'm going to tap into that OR1. A little bit of that and a little bit of YO1 for these acne scars. You just tap it out and it covered well enough for me. Let's see. That was YO1 here. Okay, that looks good. Now I'm going to take my olive contour. Actually, let's use indigo. I like indigo better for lining. This shade right here, and I'm going to take my multitasker brush, this flat end. I'm going to line my lips. Okay, I'm going to show you something fun. I'm going to take my spot brush, go back into that YO1, and I'm going to highlight this area. You can hardly tell, but it just gives, you see how it just gave a subtle little pop there. I love that. So, got that done. I'm going to blend out this little area that I almost forgot. Just blend that into the bronzer and the contour. And I'm going to take whatever's left on this detail brush. I don't contour my nose. I have a crooked nose, and this side is like perfectly how I want it, and this side sticks out, and I can't figure out how to really contour it, so I just don't. Just brush that a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to put on, what shade should we use? Let's just use Hollywood because it's right here and I already put it on my cheeks. Now, Hollywood is a matte, and it's very, very dry. So, you can either mix it with one of our glosses, or you can pop into that balm and pop a little bit of that on, and then that makes it glossy. Then I'm going to take the balm and I'm going to put a little bit on my cheeks. You see how it just gives that little bit of shine, but there's no shimmer in it. It just looks like a healthy glow. Okay, then that's what I normally do for my face. I don't go over the top or anything. I usually don't do my eyes. I would just pop some mascara on, spray my face with Charlotte Tilbury, It's Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. And then I would call it a day. So that's just kind of what I wanted to show you guys today. And I'm getting ready to film an eyeshadow tutorial. So you'll see me in the same outfit in the next video. Thanks for hanging out with me. See you guys next time.